Election season is usually a big ratings boom for cable news, and with the midterms now just days away, I thought we would take a look at the numbers to see how everybody is doing. And you may have heard that Don Lemon was demoted from the prestigious primetime slot on CNN to the 6 a.m. Eastern Time morning slot. And we're going to get into the numbers to see how his new show is doing. He would have been fired, I'm sure, but he has black and gay privilege, and the network probably just didn't want to deal with a bogus lawsuit. He would have claimed discrimination and all this. So they let him keep his job and bumped him to the morning host. And here's how that's going.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are.
We made it. Everybody got up.
Everybody
we woke up.
We're all awake. Is this rehearsal or is this real?
No, it's real.
It's real.
It's a real thing.
Is it real? You guys ready? I think we're ready. I'm Don Lemon alongside Poppy Harlow.
I'll spare you any more cringe because they all go on to complain about having to wake up so early for the show, but they're excited about it. And look, they are great actors. I mean, look at how happy they are. And in order to get to the studio for a 6 a.m. show like this, especially in New York City, they all had to wake up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning at the very latest. So you're talking about going to bed at 6 or 7 p.m. at the very latest. So Don's entire life has been turned upside down. But it wasn't a demotion, he insists. And to kick off his big new show, he landed a rare interview with John Fetterman, the Democrat who's running against Dr. Oz for Senate in Pennsylvania, who did the interview in his pajamas. I mean, his normal clothes.
Well, let's talk about inflation because that's a big concern for voters. What do you think the biggest cause of inflation is? And should the Biden administration be doing more?
Oh, don't even get me started on that, Don. You can just go watch my mini documentary, my in-depth report on the Federal Reserve. But please tell us, Mr. Fetterman, what do you think the cause was?
No, I just do. I think that simply is also, let's talk about the trillions in massive tax cuts to the corporate tax structure as well. True. You know, trillions of dollars that have added to the deficit, and now they still want to support those as well. True. I think in terms of being very...
Okay, that's enough. The entire interview is like that. It's embarrassing. You may have seen the debate highlights. We shouldn't be making fun of him. He had a stroke. He should be at home recovering. He shouldn't be waking up at 6 in the morning to do interviews. He shouldn't be running for such a prestigious position as United States Senator. But since most Democrats also have brain damage, many of them are going to vote for him anyway. So Oprah Winfrey is now trying to come to the rescue. Oprah Winfrey basically gave birth to Dr. Oz's television career, and she's been kind of quiet about this whole thing because she didn't want to disrespect her friend. But it's not looking so good for Fetterman, so she came out and endorsed him.
News tonight, Oprah Winfrey, who gave Mehmet Oz his television career, announced tonight that she is endorsing his opponent in the Pennsylvania Senate campaign. Oprah Winfrey says if she could vote in Pennsylvania, she would, quote, have already voted for John Fetterman.
I don't think I've heard Oprah Winfrey's name for like 15 years, ever since Tom Cruise flipped out and started jumping up and down on her couch. But you know that they're getting desperate when she comes out and basically throws her friend Dr. Oz under the bus. Now back to CNN's ratings, which are so bad, Jake Tapeworm's new primetime show, he was moved from sort of late afternoon into a prestigious primetime slot. He now is getting canceled. They're going to move him back because, well, even the Daily Beast, a far-left liberal waste of cyberspace, admits that his show was ratings deficient. And here's how deficient those ratings are. These are from Wednesday, so these are fresh ratings. CNN's new morning show with Don Lemon and Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, who admits that she's a sociopath and has no emotions. That show, and these are in the hundreds of thousands, 315,000 viewers. Versus Fox and Friends at the same time, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific time, 1.1 million viewers. Okay. And the second hour of Don Lemon's new show didn't do much better, only 388,000 viewers. So let's check out how their primetime lineup is doing, shall we? The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, 664,000 viewers, versus The Five over on Fox News. That's the Roundtable Show, which is a great show. It's kind of a discussion about a bunch of different topics. 3.5, almost 3.6 million viewers. And the Situation Room goes on for 2 hours, then it drops down to 624,000. Then Aaron Burnett The most viewed show over there. Yeah, she's kind of an attractive woman. So 800,000 viewers. And then Anderson Cooper, the face of CNN, 676,000 viewers. And these have been the ratings for like a year, for all year. That CNN cannot and has not broken 1 million viewers, I don't think, for at least this entire year, maybe 2 years. Now, compare him to Tucker Carlson at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tucker's pulling in 3.5 million viewers. And then there's Jake Tapeworm's show, 500,000 viewers. 506, I guess, but we can round that down. Versus Hannity, 2.8. Oh, and Fredo is on these ratings as well. So Chris Cuomo on Wednesday, and this is about average here, he got 96,000 viewers. So Fredo can't even break 100,000 viewers over on News Nation. And here's the kind of paranoia that MSNBC viewers are subjected to if they make the mistake to tune in. This is one of their contributors' analysis about what's going to happen if Republicans take back the House and the Senate in the midterms next week.
And a historian 50 years from now, if historians are allowed to write in this country, and if there are still free publishing houses and a free press, which I'm not certain of, but if that is true, a historian will say what was at stake tonight and this week was the fact whether we will be a democracy in the future, whether our children will be arrested and conceivably killed. We're on the edge of a brutal authoritarian system, and it could be a week away.
So that's MSNBC's final message before the midterms. Your children's lives depend on you voting for the Democrats. And since liberals accuse us of the exact same thing that they themselves are guilty of, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett has a new book that's coming out some point in the future. I'm not sure when, but when liberals heard about it, they started harassing the publisher, demanding that they cancel the contract, and they want that book banned. But Penguin Random House said that they're going to publish the book anyway. Liberals love banning books. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago now that they convinced or bullied Amazon into banning this children's book called No Dress for Timmy, which is about a young kid who decides to not go along with the cultural Marxist propaganda that his communist teachers were pushing on the children. But Jacob's new dress is in stock on Amazon and has 5-star glowing reviews, which was written and illustrated by Marxists for fellow Marxist teachers and parents to read to small elementary school children about how boys should start wearing dresses. Jacob is not a transgender girl. Jacob is a boy, identifies as a boy, but he starts wearing a dress to school because he's cool. Sparkle Boy is another one. You may have seen me mention these books during one of my city council jams when I was wearing the blue-haired wig, and that wasn't really a joke. I mean, everything that I was saying there was what the Marxists actually believe in what they're doing. These books are real. And since Joe Biden is such an embarrassment, if he were to campaign alongside any Democrat running for House or the Senate or any of the gubernatorial races for governor, it would only just bring their poll numbers down. It would keep people away from the polls. So the Democrat machine has brought Obama out, and he's hitting the campaign trail hard.
And if you've got election deniers serving as your governor, as your senator, as your secretary of state, as your attorney general, then democracy as we know it may not survive in Arizona. That's not an exaggeration. That is a fact.
Well, if we're fortunate enough to take back the House and the Senate next week, I have a feeling that we're going to see some major election denialism. Carrie Lake, who's running for governor of Arizona, was asked if she's concerned about Obama now being brought out on the campaign trail in her backyard. And she said no, but added this.
But I was a little concerned today, I'm going to be honest, when I saw Hillary Clinton bad-mouthing me, and she looked angry and actually scared and just completely unrelated. I want you to know, just in case you're wondering, I'm in perfect health. My brakes on my car are in good shape, and I'm not suicidal. And we're going to win this thing on Tuesday.
Could Carrie Lake get any cooler? Of course, the liberal media is upset about this. There's the Daily Beast. Carrie Lake jokes about the Inton Clay Adi Bay Ounce K, which you're not supposed to really talk about. And you're definitely not supposed to go and look up the Boys on the Tracks documentary and use keywords Kevin Ives and Don Henry, definitely not supposed to watch that documentary, which I'll try to link in the description below if I remember, or put as one of the end cards at the end of this video. And here's Herschel Walker. He's running for Senate down in Georgia. And if you live there and you're not sure if you want to vote for him because he doesn't have that much experience, I think this clip will win you over.
You are going to have to work with President Biden and Democrats in order to get anything done.
That's right.
So let me ask you, can you name one thing that President Biden has done that you support?
One thing that he's done that I support. He eat a lot of ice cream.
Is there anything policy-wise?
Policy-wise that he's done that I support.
She didn't even laugh. Come on, that's a meme right there. This is his opponent, Raphael Warnock, whose day job is a pastor at a supposed church who bills himself as the pro-choice pastor. He's the pastor who supports abortion. Obviously, it must be a satanic church, and this was part of his sermon recently.
No matter what happens next month, more than a third of the nation that would go along with this is reason to be afraid. America needs to repent for its worship of whiteness on full display.
Actually, you need to repent for your anti-whiteism, pastor. And this is a television ad that's airing now in Georgia and on the radio there. And it was produced by Stephen Miller. Remember him from the Trump administration? Well, this is what he's doing now.
When did racism against white people become okay? Joe Biden put white people last in line for COVID relief funds. Kamala Harris said disaster aid should go to non-white citizens first. Liberal politicians block access to medicine based on skin color. Progressive corporations, airlines, universities all openly discriminate against white Americans. Racism is always wrong. The left's anti-white bigotry must stop. We are all entitled to equal treatment under law. America First Legal paid for this ad.
Wow. I mean, nobody would have the guts to produce something like that and put it on television up until just a few months ago. That shows how much the culture is changing, how bad the systemic anti-whiteism has gotten. The liberal media obviously quite upset about that, and the fact suppressors are working hard to make sure that that video doesn't go viral. So if you upload it to Facebook, it's going to get flagged as false and misleading, so you know that it's true. And in case you're just waking up to this, click the thumbnail on the screen to watch my, I guess, 7-year-old video now, where I ask people to sign a petition to tax white people's income at a higher rate. Or click the other thumbnail to watch that forbidden documentary about the boys on the tracks. And I will see you soon.